All right, hello, my wonderful students. This is foldable number 4 for graphing sine, cosine, and tangent. This one's going to have our phase shift and our K, as well as the A and the B and C, for that matter, for the phase shift. All right, so let's go and get started with this. Each one is going to have its own unique but not really unique equation because it's the same thing. It just doesn't have it's going to be replacing either sine, cosine, or tangent. So the formula we're going to use for this one is y is equal to a sine of b theta plus c plus k. And if you notice, everything's kind of represented here. So first we're going to do is find the amplitude. The amplitude is always going to be the same. It's always going to be the number that's in front. So our amplitude here is 2. Then we're going to go ahead and solve for our k, because our k is actually pretty easy too. It's just the number that's on the outside. So it's our 3. Now we're going to go ahead and solve for our period. So I know for tangent we did pi over b, but remember sine is 2 pi over b. Our b here is 3, so this is going to be equal to 2 pi divided by 3. And then we're going to go ahead and do our phase shift, which is going to set this equal to 0. So for it's called the phase shift, what we do is we actually set the b theta plus c equal to 0. So we're going to go and do that right now. We're going to put this over here. So we have 3 theta minus pi over 2 equals 0. And then we just treat this as x and then kind of just solve for it. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. We go ahead and get our plus pi over 2 to both sides. And we get 3 theta is equal to pi over 2. Then we're going to divide by 3, divided by 3. We can make this 3 over 1 to make it a little easier to see that it's going to be dividing by fractions. And we get that our theta is equal to pi over 2 times 1/3, or you can just continue equaling, saying this is pi over 6. Fantastic. So our phase shift is going to move over pi over 6. Okay. So because of that, cosine usually starts here on the y-axis, but we have a phase shift of pi over 6. So we're actually going to go ahead and move that pi over 6 here. But our period is 2 pi over 3. But we can't just label 2 pi over 3 here because we're not starting at 0 anymore. We're starting at pi over 6. So in order to figure out how far it is going to be till we stop, we're actually going to get our 2 pi over 3, and we're going to add it to our pi over 6. Well, these don't really necessarily add right now, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to multiply this by 2 over 2. That's 1, but in order to get the denominator to be 6. So this is going to be, I don't want to in the graph. We should be okay. Yeah, we can do this here. So it's going to be 4 pi over 6 plus pi over 6, which is equal to 5 pi over 6. So we know this is 1 pi over 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, and about right here would be our, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's about right here. 5 pi over 6. I know it doesn't have to actually be exact, but it just so kind of stays nice because we are going to divide this here again and here as well. So in order to get the middle here, you can do 1 pi plus 5 pi over 6, and you get 6 pi over 6, which is just pi, and then you're going to divide that by 2. So this will give us our 3 pi over 6, which is just pi over 2. Okay. Then here, well, it kind of just shows. So this is 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, or 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, 4 pi over 6, 5 pi over 6. So this is going to be 2 pi over 6, which is 2 pi over 6, which is just pi over 3. And then we have 4 pi over 6, which is just 2 pi over 3. I know it's a little awesomely confusing, but it's still kind of nice. All right, so we have everything set up here. We start here, we end here. It's a cosine graph. We did our phase shift. The only thing left to do is to move our k. So our k is at 3. So we're actually going to move up 3. 1, 2, 3. What that means is that instead of starting here or wherever our b is, it's going to be the distance away from this here. Okay, so that means from here, since our a is 2, our starting point is actually going to be up here. These are going to be our asymptotes this way, right? Because it's going to be our maximum and our minimum values. Okay, that means that the function is not going to go past this at all. Okay, and then we just go ahead and graph. Oh, this is sine, so we actually start here, not here. I don't know why I thought it was cosine. This is a sine function, so we actually start at the point in the middle. And then it's positive, so we're going to go up to the maximum, back down to the center, down to the minimum, and back up to the center. And this graph is going to look like this. And once again, this is only one cycle of sine right here, because technically we can just continue going this way forever and continue going this way forever. But right now I'm only asking for one cycle.